We as a country have been begging for some regulation of dangerous weapons, and finally we have it. In New York, it is now illegal for anyone under the age of 21 to purchase a can of whipped cream. I'm being serious. That is the news. The law, which went into effect in November 2021, is now triggered, is meant to prevent teenagers from using whipped cream canisters to inhale nitrous oxide, otherwise known as whippets. The legislation specifically named whipped cream chargers, small steel cartridges of nitrous oxides used in whipped cream dispensers. And stores are already beginning to ID customers and being very careful to vet everyone to make sure whether they are responsible enough, mature enough to be able to hold, whether concealed or open carry these whipped cream canisters. By the way, approximately 1 in 5 young people have apparently used inhalants like whippets by the time they reach the 8th grade. And abusing inhalants can, quote, cause damage to the parts of the brain that control thinking, moving, vision, and hearing, at least according to the DEA. I don't know how trustworthy that is or what counts as whippet abuse. I don't know how often you need to do it, but anyway, Francesca, if you want to engage in some inhalant abuse, you're gonna have to do it outside of New York.
Yeah, meanwhile, didn't the Supreme Court strike down New York's like stricter gun laws? Amazing, the world we live in, my God. Here's what I will say, I've never done a whippet, and now I think I'm too old to do whippets.
I think you might be.
I regret that I didn't take advantage, because there's a sweet spot. I wouldn't say 8th grade, a little bit older. There's a sweet spot of I'm dumb enough and young enough to do a whippet. And I say take that up, do it once, sorry. Do it once. And the other thing I'll say is I made whipped cream last night from scratch and it sucked. It was not.
I didn't expect it to go in that direction. It wasn't as good.
I think I don't know if I overbeat it or underbeat it. It wasn't yummy. And I need whipped cream. And so I don't know. Sometime don't restrict access.
I'm at least as lame as you. I've never done a whippet. I've never thought to, because the thing is, to do a whippet, presumably you need the can of whipped cream and then you'd use it to do the whippet. The few times, and they're pretty rare, that I've held a can of whipped cream, you know what I've done with it? What sick, twisted thing I've done with it? I've filled my mouth with whipped cream, which is a sensory experience that everyone should experience at least once in their life. It is overwhelming. You are just overcome by the whipped creaminess. And I don't think a whippet could be nearly as good as that. And I don't want to waste the limited nitrous oxide supply inside of the can on a whippet if that might result in me not being able to get some of that whipped creamy goodness out of the bottom of the can. So
that's true.
I'll stick with the whatever you want to call it, the whipped creamits, not the whippets.
Yes,
anyway.
Absolutely.
By the way, I'm gonna make a bit of a downer to end this segment in. More than 311,000 students have experienced gun violence at school since Columbine. And look, it's not like, I know some people might see that the whipped cream is being banned and think on a very general level, oh, we can ban that, but not guns. Look, this is New York. Of the states, they're one of the better ones in terms of banning guns, up until the Supreme Court thing at least. So it's not a one-to-one thing, but we can as a society identify things that are threats, whether it's lawn darts or whippets or Elmer's glue or whatever. We can regulate certain things. But if you can still go and get an AR-15 when you're like 17, why are we pretending with any of this other stuff?
No, it's silly.
Yeah.
Can't get big gulps, can't get whippets. I don't know.
I know it's super unpopular, but I kind of thought that the banning the big gulps was a good idea. Not a good idea. I thought I would like them to be banned. It's politically
I do too. I mean, I was arrested under the Bloomberg administration. I think that was like a good thing that he did. You know what I'm saying?
I think that those are really bad for you.
You don't need that much soda.
And I think it's like a lot of like corporate propaganda that gets people to think they need it. And I feel like it's really corrupt. So, but I know. Shut up.
That being said, we stand.
Really unpopular.
We are for the whipped cream. For whipped cream against big gulps. Okay, got it.
Exactly. I'm the guy telling people like to limit how much soda they drink. I'm the guy that's like killing myself with cream.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.